Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Into the Squared Circle podcast. Yes, I'm your host, GBs, of course, and welcome. Hey, if you're a new listener, hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode each and every week. If you're a daily listener, thank you so much for tuning in right here on the very own podcast, of course. By the way, I'm available on 5 social media platforms: Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Instagram. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode each and every week. By the way, the podcast is available on all major podcasting outlets, as always. So, without wasting any more time on this very podcast, which is episode number 22, we're going to talk about All Elite Wrestling Revolution pay-per-view 2023, of course, went down 24 hours ago from the time I'm recording this podcast. And hey, on my official Twitter page, Into the Squared Circle podcast, of course, I put a poll, which is still got 2 hours left, so the poll pretty much be closing up on my official Twitter page, Into the Squared Circle podcast, and I posted what you guys thought on the pay-per-view. Was it great? Was it bad? And 79% of you guys said you guys did enjoy the pay-per-view last night, and 21 disliked the pay-per-view. And you know what? The 79% of you guys did enjoy it. I'm with you guys 100%. Again, my personal opinion here, this is probably the strongest AEW pay-per-view so far since the company existed within these 4 years. Hands down. And I tell you what, the main event, which we'll get to shortly, is pretty much the match of the year candidate. And 2023 is not over yet. We'll get to it shortly, of course. But let's talk about the pre-show. By the way, the pay-per-view went down, I believe, on Bleacher Report, and you can watch it Fight TV internationally, or you can watch on your traditional pay-per-view provider, which is still available for replays, of course. But yeah, let's kick it off with the pre-show. Let's talk about the pre-show and details here. They did something a little different this time when it comes to the pre-show. Now, normally their pre-shows, they'll play awesome packages, of course, like a Fox Sports or a UFC big pay-per-view style package where they, combine all the matches that are on the card. And they did do an excellent job putting these together. It's like a HBO sports style packages. And they changed it up this time. They're trying to do a WWE-esque style pre-show. They have Renee Paquette, Jon Moxley's wife, out in the crowd, of course, hyping up the crowd, previewing the matches. So they're trying to treat it like how WWE is doing. They're having like somebody out in the crowd getting the crowd pumped up instead of watching packages on each match. And then this guy named RJ City. I don't know too much about this guy, but apparently he did some backstage goofy, trying to be funny interviews in the back. I don't know. Now, was I crazy for this RJ City guy? Nah, I'm not really. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's fans out there for it. Again, I'm not going to take a dump on this, be negative on certain parts of the show, but nevertheless, the pre-show was a little different. I enjoy the little difference. I enjoy the change Tony Khan's doing to the show. So it's unique. It's different. But nevertheless, they have one pre-show match, of course, a 6-man tag team match, 12-minute and 50-second match. If you give a rat's ass on times or not in these matches, Mark Briscoe and the Lucha Brothers faced off Ari Daivari and the varsity athletes was Josh Woods and Tony Nese. It was an okay match. Again, for being a pre-show match. It's nice to see the Lucha Brothers and Mark Briscoe teaming up. That was fun to watch. Of course, Mark Briscoe was the first star to come out. So he got a nice little pop to kick off the pay-per-view, right? Or at least the pre-show. It was a good match. It was not too bad. I mean, Marcus brought out his redneck kung fu skills, and the Lucha Brothers are always impressive. And nonetheless, it was a solid match, a pre-show match to be exact. And who's the winner? Well, Mark Briscoe's and the Lucha Brothers defeated Ari Daivari and the Varsity Athletes. Not too shabby for a pre-show match. Okay. So things wrapped up. Out comes the good old JR Jim Ross. Yes, Jim Ross came out, hopped on the commentary team, told everybody on TV this is going to be the most collective, diverse wrestling show. It's going to be all wrestling, but it's going to be a little bit of everything, a smorgasbord. And yes, good old JR was correct. This pay-per-view had a little bit of everything. But nonetheless, the pay-per-view kicks off with pyro, boom, boom, boom. First match, Ricky Starks, Mr. Absolute, that is, versus Chris Jericho, Mr. Ocho. And a singles match, a 13-minute and 35 seconds match. The Jericho Appreciation Society, or JAS, were banned from ringside. So, in my prediction, if you heard my prediction video or podcast episode, I was saying that there could be possibly a loophole and Chris Jericho will win. Well, I was proven wrong. Chris Jericho was defeated by Ricky Starks 1-2-3 by pinfall. So apparently Sammy Guevara made his way down to the ring, and all of a sudden he got tackled by Action Andretti. So even the commentary team was like, I thought they were banned. And apparently Action Andretti stopped Sammy from getting into ring. So it was not necessarily, what do you call it, a distraction or interference. But nonetheless, match continued on. I'm trying to go through my memory bank here on how the match ended. And I believe the ref had his back turned on both men in the ring because with Sammy Guevara being attacked by Action Andretti, the ref was focusing on that. Before you know it, Jericho was trying to cheat. I can't remember if it was like a belt getting involved or not a belt, a bat. I think it was a bat got involved in it. Eventually, he striked Ricky Starks with a bat. And eventually that transitioned to Jericho trying to attempt to use his Judas Effect move on Ricky Starks. But Ricky Starks, yeah, he countered and blocked him from doing that. And he eventually, I can't remember if he did his finishing move, his Rambo Shah or whatever the hell he calls it. But eventually Ricky Starks defeated Chris Jericho by pinfall 1-2-3. So that one threw me off. Already lost one match in my prediction. But nonetheless, it was an excellent match. And if they gave a rating star, yeah, maybe I'll give it about 4. Give it a 4-star. But who the hell am I to give these guys the stars? Because it was a good match. All right, let's move on to the next match. So apparently it was supposed to be a no-holds-bar match, and eventually it got changed to a final burial match, which pretty much was a casket match. The whole objective in this match between Jungle Boy Jack Perry versus Christian Cage, got to get your opponent in the casket and let the casket fall. And that's sure what happened. It was a good match. It was a brutal slobber knocker of a match. Both men started in the ring. Once the bell rang, both men went wild. Eventually, both men spilled out into the crowd, went back to the ring, went back out of the ring, went up to the ramp. What else happened on there? I mean, concerto. I know at first Jungle Boy is going to do a concerto, on Christian Cage, but Jungle Boy took forever, and he got low blowed by Christian. Before you know it, these guys were just going at it. And I think the highlight of this match, I'm trying to remember here, folks, where Jungle Boy threw Christian Cage off the stage, and then Jungle Boy did a running backflip off the stage onto Christian Cage, which was crazy. It was wild. Eventually, both men got back on top, and I can't remember if Jungle Boy finally gave the concerto to Christian Cage, and man, it was impactful the way he smacked his head with the chair. I mean, the crowd's like, ooh. Sure enough, Jungle Boy Jack Perry threw Christian Cage right into the coffin, slammed the door shut, and that coffin dropped. I'm like, holy smokes, that coffin dropped into the hole, and down goes Christian Cage, buried alive. So Jungle Boy Jack Perry defeated Christian Cage. And that was my pick, Jungle Boy Jack Perry. So, all right, a one-on-one. Great match, by the way. 14-minute and 50-second match. All right, let's move next to the 6-man tag team match for the AEW World Trios Champion, the House of Black. Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews versus The Elite, Kenny Omega, Nick and Mac Jackson's The Young Bucks, came in as a champion. This match was phenomenal. Again, if you're a fan of high spots of sorts from the Young Bucks, this match is for you. I tell you what, Brody King, guy's a badass. He looks like a star. Guy is huge compared to the Young Bucks when he got behind him. Malachi Black's always impressive, and Buddy Matthews, man, he's a hell of a wrestler. His physiques are spot on. And look, I'm a big Kenny Omega fan, and he is phenomenal as always, along with the Young Bucks. But by the way, the highlight in this match, of course, is video over social media where Kenny Omega was in the ring. You had Julia Hart standing outside of the ropes along the apron, and in the pathway between both of them was Brody King. Kenny Omega was planning to do a V-trigger on Brody King. Brody stepped away, and Kenny Omega gave the V-trigger to Julia Hart. And fans are like, whoa, Kenny Omega just took out Julia Hart. Wow. But nonetheless, this match I got wrong. Now, I mentioned in my prediction episode that I wanted the Elite to lose the belts, but I had a good feeling that they might retain. And I was wrong. The House of Black defeated the Elite, and they are the new Trios AEW World Champion. How about that? That one shocked me. I was complete in awe when the House of Black defeated the Elite. Amazing. Now the next question is, what's next for the Elite? So we have to stay tuned this coming Wednesday on Dynamite. But congrats to the House of Black, Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews, the new AEW World Trios Champions. How about that? That one shocked me. So right now, I'm like 1-2 on my record. Okay, moving up next for the Women's AEW World Heavyweight Championship match. Jamie Hayter versus Saraya versus Ruby Soho. A triple threat three-way match. It was a good match. It was pretty solid. Ruby Soho looked great. Saraya, of course, looks phenomenal. Jamie Hayter, fan favorite. She looked great in the ring. Solid match. It was a 10-minute match to be exact. Well, I got this one right. And the winner and retain the champion, of course, Jamie Hayter defeated Saraya and Ruby Soho. Now, right after the match, Ruby Soho, she was pissed. She eventually threw Saraya out of the ring. And fans are like, all right, well, Ruby Soho's not going to join with Saraya. So now she's going to be co-aligned with Jamie Hayter. But no, Ruby Soho took out Jamie Hayter. And fans are like, okay, well, she's going to go solo then. No, everything flipped now. Now Ruby Soho joined Saraya and Toni Storm. So it was a 3-on-2 because Jamie Hayter and eventually Britt Baker, she came in the ring to help. And eventually it was a 3-on-2 beatdown. And Ruby made her decision. She is part with Saraya and Toni Storm. And they end up doing a spray paint on Jamie Hayter or Britt Baker. One of the two, they spray paint in the ring. But yeah, fans were booing. Ruby Soho, I guess she's a heel. So, man, there you have it. But Jamie Hayter, she won the match. So I am 2-2, so I got this match correct. All right. This match, I can't remember if I won this or not. Who I picked, but a Texas death match.
Warning. The stunts in this movie were performed by professionals, so for your safety and the protection of those around you, do not attempt any of the stunts you're about to see.
Yeah, this match was, wow, it was brutal. Again, forewarn you, my friends, forewarn you. If you're not a fan of blood, this match isn't for you. If you're not a fan of gory pro wrestling matches, yeah, this match isn't for you because it is a Texas death match. And when you have that and Jon Moxley together, you kind of expect what this match is going to be, right? Yeah, this match, oh man, it was brutal. I mean, you got Moxley stabbing Adam Page in the forehead with a fork. Dude, that was graphic. He was stabbing him in the head with a fork, and there was blood spewing all over Jon Moxley's body. Man, there was people that was saying they had their head turned. This is how graphic this match was. I'm surprised they're allowing this to happen. I mean, there was blood everywhere. I mean, Jon Moxley brought out a pair of bricks and put Adam Hangman Page fingers in between of the bricks and smashed them. Wow. And then they had a wood platform with barbed wire on it. Obviously, both men went through it. And you got Adam Hangman Page wrapping his leg with barbed wire and smashing Jon Moxley in the head and body. And man, this match was intense, next level, hardcore, man. This is, wow. Well, the last man standing, the man who walked out as the winner of the Texas Death Match, is no other than Hangman Adam Page. By the way, Adam Page had a new entrance song, of course. It was the Ghost Rider song from the legendary Southern rock band, The Outlaws. Great song, by the way. That's Adam Page's new entrance. He came down and both men went to war. And right when the match was concluding, you kind of figure out what the pieces, the puzzle pieces coming together now. And Jon Moxley started wrapping barbed wire around his neck like a necklace. I'm like, okay, what is he doing? And apparently Moxley was ready to take on Hangman Adam Page. Hangman was about to do his finishing move, which was the buckshot lariat. And Moxley, instead of, hey, I'm going to try to take him out or, reverse this finishing move, he stood there, flicked him off, and Hangman Adam Page gave him the buckshot lariat. So you could tell right there that was the finish because Moxley didn't do anything. He didn't move. He didn't stop him. He just stood there, flicked him off because he knew he was going to get the buckshot. And that pretty much gave it away that he was going to lose the match. And Adam Hangman Page defeated Jon Moxley by submission. 24 minutes and 45-second match. This match was just off the rails. Wild match, of course. All right, up next, for the TNT World Champion, Wardlow will face Samoa Joe for the TNT Champion, as I mentioned. So on my prediction, I mentioned a plan A or plan B. If Samoa Joe wins, he'll retain, which I believe that's what was my pick. And my plan B was if Wardlow wins the TNT Champion, well, he's going to be facing Will Hobbs, of course, in a rematch for the TNT Champion. And sure enough, I don't want to spoil it, but before I get to that point, both men look great, but Wardlow, man, he manhandled Joe. He was picking him up like a monster, like a freakazoid. Samoa Joe, whose weight is around, 300 pounds? I'm not sure what his exact weight is. Man, he was lifting him up like he was a job guy. I mean, just the way he was manhandling him. And I tell you what, Wardlow, he looked like a star last night. And he looked like a monster. But sure enough, Wardlow defeated Samoa Joe by a technical submission. And if my memory stands correct, Wardlow gave Samoa Joe the Coquina Clutch, his finishing move, and made him submit. How about that? Wardlow defeated Samoa Joe to become the new AEW TNT Championship. Of course, this coming Wednesday, we're going to get Wardlow versus Will Hobbs for the TNT Champion. A 10-minute and 40-second match. So, a solid match. All right, up next, a fatal four-way for the Tag Team Championship match. The Guns, who are the champions that came down the ring, will face the Acclaim, Anthony Bowens and Matt Caster, versus Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett, versus Orange Cassidy and Danhausen. So this match had a little bit of everything. Of course, they Acclaimed always looked impressive. Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett worked excellent as a tag team. And Orange Cassidy and Danhausen. As I mentioned in my prediction channel, this team was most likely will not win it. Because do you see them as an AEW Tag Team Champion? Yeah. As I mentioned, between the Acclaim and Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett, those are the two teams I was hoping most likely will win. Well, in my prediction, I picked the Guns because I had a good feeling they might weasel their way out. And sure enough, I was right. The Gun Club retain the Tag Team Champions and won the match. But the Gun Club cut a promo after the match, and they said, "We're the best tag team on the planet." Well, sure enough. Yeah, I know, I can't play the music. But who came out? FTR. Dax Harwood, Cash Wheeler. That's right, FTR came out and took out the Gun Club and made a statement. They are back. And they picked up the tag team titles, pretty much telling the crowd, "Watch out, Gun Club. We're coming back for the titles." How about that? The Gun Club versus FTR in the near future? We'll have to wait and see. But man, it's great to see FTR come back to AEW. All right. The main event. A 60-minute Iron Man match for the AEW World Champion. The champion, MJF, the salt of the earth, versus Bryan Danielson. The most anticipated match of the night. I mentioned that this match was going to be a slobber knocker. This match was going to be a war. This match is going to be the match of the night. And boy, I was right. So, the match kicks off. MJF and Bryan Danielson in the ring. Both men's ready to lock up. Sure enough, MJF weaseled his way out of the ring. Tried to escape from Bryan Danielson, of course. Trying to kill a little bit of the time. As I mentioned, a 60-minute Iron Man match. So, MJF is trying to be a little bit smart here. Let's kill a little bit of time. Try to weasel out of the match for a little bit and decided to go into the crowd. There was a point in the match where it made its round on social media. MJF went into the crowd. Apparently there was a mother and her child. Looked like they were like third or fourth row on ringside. Well, MJF decided to grab a drink out of the mom's hand and dumped it right onto that little child's face, her head. And fans are like, dude, even when I saw that, I'm like, did he just do that? Just threw a drink at this little kid's? The mother standing right next to the child, and MJF just threw the drink right at the kid? I'm like, dude, that was bad. That was bad of him to do that. Well, eventually that part made it everywhere on social media. And Tony Khan talked about it on the media scrum, which I'll play on here shortly. And then what was the other one MJF did? Where he was planning on throwing Bryan Danielson over the guardrail into the fans. MJF told the fans, all right, make a pathway for me. You guys get out the way. Yeah, fans, just move. Make a pathway. And right when he was about to throw Bryan Danielson, instead of trying to throw him over the guardrail, he flicked off the fans and so it told them, ha ha, I fooled you guys. And yes, he fooled the fans, and he wasn't planning on throwing Bryan Danielson over the rails. No, no, no. I tell you what, I haven't had 8 hours sleep in the past 2 days. And last night, that 60-minute Iron Man match, my body was forced me to go to sleep. My brain was already pretty much shutting down. So I had to force myself to stay up much as I can, pinch myself, slap myself to keep myself up to watch this match. There was a point in the match where I was slowly doozing away, but I'm like, I have to stay up. You know, the match got to 30 minutes. The match got down to 25 minutes. I'm like, man, I don't know how much more I can keep myself up. And man, I power through it. This match had everything in it. Counters and back and forth. I mean, both men went to war. Both men destroyed each other in that ring. I tell you what, MJF, he showed the world that he could do this. He showed all the naysayers, all the doubters that he's not just a really good heel promo type of guy. He's one of the best wrestlers out there, and he proved it last night that he is the best AEW World Champion, and he sure as hell proved it. And I give props to MJF. I give him props. Despite him being a piece of shit. But he showed the world that he could put on a 60-minute clinic with Bryan Danielson, who is one of the best technical wrestlers on the planet. Hands down, a round of applause. And I tell you what, the commentary team was just phenomenal. You have to give those guys props too. I love Taz's commentary. That guy, obviously being a former wrestler, so he will give you the insight. You know, be careful going out to the crowd. It could be slippery. There's beer and water and people throwing shit. You got to be careful. Or, getting a full Nelson. That will hurt like hell if you do it at this position. Taz will give you the insight on everything as a pro wrestler because he did all in ECW and obviously in the WWE. And again, Tony Schiavone, Excalibur, all three of them did an excellent commentary. Excellent commentary on the match, of course. But back to the match. MJF, Bryan Danielson, and again, throughout this match, whoever has the most falls wins the match. Of course, right off the bat, MJF gave at least 2 in a row falls on Danielson. And then MJF had a lead. And then Bryan Danielson had another fall. Eventually, it was all tied up 3-3. Well, the match got close to the very end. It was 1 minute left. Still tied 3-3 falls between both men. Danielson had a submission lock on MJF. Now the clock is itching close to the very end. 50 seconds, 30 seconds. MJF is not tapping out. 20 seconds. MJF is trying to grab the rope. No, Danielson pulls him away from the rope. And MJF wants to tap out. You can tell he wants to tap out. 10, 9, 8. And fans are like, tap. MJF, tap. Danielson's going to win the champion. He is this close. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. MJF taps. And this match was a draw. And fans were booing. And I said that in my prediction episode. I want both men to win. It was a tough one to choose. And if anything, it will be a draw. And sure enough, it became a draw between both men. Well, Tony Schiavone on the commentary team was getting some little rumbles, a little word in his headset come from Tony Khan backstage. And whatever he told Tony Schiavone's like, I have to go down to Justin Roberts, the ring announcer, and I need to tell him something, a very exciting announcement. So he runs down the ramp. He whispers something to Justin Roberts. Justin Roberts like, are you sure he said that? And Tony Schiavone told Justin Roberts, Tony Khan ordered this match to continue. And that's what Justin Roberts said. This match has become a sudden death overtime match. And MJF is like, what? The bell rings and the match continues. Now, I tell you what, there was a point in the match, and I'm trying to remember if the ref got taken out. MJF has tried to use his diamond ring, failed to use it. But I tell you what, Danielson fell short in the overtime, and MJF defeated Bryan Danielson 4-3 in a sudden death overtime and retain the AEW World Champion. Wow, what a classic match. Now, I'm pretty sure, I can see Uncle Dave Meltzer giving this match a 10-star match. By the way, at the beginning of the match, MJF was trying to stall, as I mentioned, kill some time, and MJF looked at the camera and said, "Sorry, Dave, I know you're going to give this match a 1 star. You might as well hand out the Bryan Danielson Award and you're a zerber." That was funny. But nonetheless, man, MJF defeated Bryan Danielson hands down. One, again, my personal opinion, one of the best AEW matches of all time. So far. And again, a match contender for the year of 2023. Beautiful, beautiful match. Props to both men. Just well done. Perfection. All right, as I mentioned, the media scrum. Yeah, MJF. Yeah, well, he decided to do a CM Punk troll. If you kind of remember the All Out press conference and how things laid out, yeah, MJF has tried to recreate it instead of the muffins or cookies the CM Punk had. MJF brought out pickles. Yeah, pickles. And I tell you, man, this was an entertaining media scrum with MJF. And we'll talk about that first. And then we'll bring up the Tony Khan comment on that little kid fan that MJF threw the drink at. So enjoy the media scrum.
Who's the best wrestler in the world? Is it Kenny Omega? Is it John Moxley? Is it Bryan Danielson? I'm just curious. Tell me, Dave. Is it your boy Kenny? Is it John? Yeah, laugh all you want, dipshit. I'm the fucking man now! Me! I'm the best wrestler in the world! There is no more complete wrestler on this planet. Nobody's got my body. Nobody's got my mind. Nobody's got my brain. Inside that ring, on the microphone, hell. I don't need a whole group backing me. I don't need someone in my ear advising me what to say, how to walk, how to talk. There is nobody. And I mean nobody on my level. And you're going to hear it over and over again because ain't nobody dethroning the devil. God damn, I got a hole going out now. Shit's getting real, isn't it? But I feel good. My back ain't against the wall no more. I got nothing to panic about. I'm having fun now. Tony, you ready to have some fun, answer some questions?
Yeah.
Good shit. Got some Kalen and Kalen pickles over there. Going to eat the shit out of that. God fucking damn it. This stupid fucking bum. So when I was in the Senior Bowl All-Star game, no big fucking deal, and I played in the game, I was running on a sweep. I had 15 tackles going into the first half. You don't believe me? Google it, you fucking marks. And a fat roly-poly-oly offensive lineman made a cut block right on my left leg and tore my MCL and my meniscus, and it has been nagging the fucking shit out of me ever since. But did that stop me from tapping out the best wrestler in the world? I'm just curious, Dave, did it? No, it fucking didn't. Oh my God, that's a good fucking pickle. Jesus Christ, classic Dill. Anybody want a piece? Real, nobody wants a pickle? How about you? You want a pickle? Come here, dipshit. Take a pickle. You, fuckface, take a pickle. You, yeah. What are you, fucking deaf? Tell me what you think of this Kalen pickle. Take a big bite. Yeah, all right. Now fuck off. Yeah. God damn it. All right. So here's the thing. I watch these things every single time, and they're so fucking long. No offense. So fucking long. So, and also the questions kind of suck. So can you guys do me a fucking favor? Hit me with some hard shit. Okay? Fucking give it to me, because you're journalists, right? You're not right, Will? You're a fucking journalist? Yeah. Great. All right, here we go. Who's going first? Yeah, guy with the slick black hair looked like a fucking rat. Pickles. Oh,
Liam Crowley with comicbook.com. Max, congrats
comicbook.com?
on the comicbook.com.
Oh, wow, it's like the New York Times.
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go.
Congrats on the title defense tonight.
Yep.
You've beaten the likes of Ricky Starks and Bryan Danielson so far in your title defenses.
Oh, okay. I thought we were just talking about people I beat, like John Moxley and Chris Jericho.
The list could go
CM
on
Punk
and on.
Yeah. Keep going.
Who, from people of your past or people you haven't faced yet, are you looking to cement by beating in this title reign?
God damn, man. To be perfectly brutally honest, I'm not a mark like everybody else who works here. I don't have dream matches. What I have is this. The most important title in all of professional wrestling. What everybody's dream should be is to face me, because there is nobody more important in this business than MJF. How's that for an answer? Good. Yeah, okay, rat shit. Who else? What, are we scared? There we go, Will.
Will Washington,
I know your
Fightful.
name. Jesus Christ. You're a great guy.
So,
Yeah.
about
Don't laugh at him. Jesus Christ. My friend, man. Oh, all right. Okay, Dreads. What were you saying?
5 minutes into the Iron Man match tonight, you are making the rounds virally for having thrown a drink, a mom's drink,
Yep.
on her kid.
Yeah.
So this question is kind of a twofold. It goes for
So very entertaining. MJF and the media scrum. Best in the world. Gotta love it, right? All right, let's move on to the second half of this media scrum, where Tony Khan was talking about the fan, of course, the little child who got his drink tossed at MJF. By the way, the child, apparently some of the AEW executives went to speak with the mother and the child, and everything was all well. And they invited the mother and the child backstage to see his favorite wrestlers, and they gave him tickets for the next AEW show, which is this Wednesday. So how about that? So let's get to the second half of this media scrum with Tony Khan and MJF.
both Max and for Tony. One for Max.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind throwing the drink on the kid?
Kid looked thirsty. What's the second question?
And two, Tony, will there be any type of consequences for Max?
We had a conversation before we came up here. We had a conversation, a serious conversation, and I mean that. And it's not to be taken lightly. The young man, Titus, was a real pro about it. And we'll see Titus here again in AEW. And I believe Titus is actually coming to Sacramento. But I was just with him, and he was a real champ about it. And, the champion didn't act like a champion there. But I think Titus was great.
Salt of the earth, that Titus. Real worried about him. What else we got? And this guy is very, very lucky to have caught me at the time he caught me. I'd say thank you, but then I would be an insincere piece of shit. So I'm going to grab this crutch, and I am going to go upstairs, and I am going to eat more of these Kalen and Kalen pickles. Thank you. Fuck you. Bye. No fucking golf clap for MJF? Okay.
All right, there's a second half. Thank you. Fuck you. Bye-bye. Coming from MJF, of course. All right. Let's get to the little sliver of the media scrum with Ricky Starks.
Hey, absolute Ricky Starks. What a great match. Great.
First one, huh? Wow. So what do you guys want to talk about? What's up, y'all? Okay. Seems like you're all doing well. Got it.
Hi, Phil into the Bleacher Report. We just had a guy in here, your reigning AEW World Champion.
Right.
How soon are you trying to get back in the ring with him and get your rematch?
So I'm glad you asked that question. I think it's important to let everybody know, because there's been speculation of why I beat somebody and then wanted to beat him again. If I did it once, I can do it twice. If I beat a former AEW champion, that means that I skipped the line and now I can go back to getting my shot at the AEW championship. That is ultimately what this whole thing has been about since day one. I am not a dumb young kid. I know what I'm doing. Obviously, people don't think that. So after tonight, obviously, I feel like I'm in contention to be the guy next up, especially after how December went. I feel like it's well worth it in my playground to actually go after it and be a little bit more prepared, honestly. So
Ricky Starks, absolutely one of the best. Guy's a star. Hopefully we'll see him in the main event picture in the near future. All right, my friends, sound off on my social media platforms Into the Squared Circle podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Thumbs up or thumbs down on the pay-per-view. Let me know what you think. All right, my friends, I'll talk to you guys next time down the road.